Okay. All right, so we just had a little conversation on that one problem that we were doing from your assignment about whole numbers. So hopefully you guys all know what whole numbers are. We're going to extend that group a little bit. Now we are going to talk about integers. Okay, so integers are all the whole numbers and we're going to throw in there their opposites. Okay? So integers are all the whole numbers that we know and love, plus we're also going to be able to use the opposites of the whole numbers as well. Okay? If I give you a whole number, such as 7, what is the opposite of 7? You are who?
Hannah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, just two Hannahs. You're one of them? All right. That's Hannah Quinn. You are Hannah
Curry.
Curry. Okay, Hannah Curry, what is the opposite of 7?
Negative
7,
seven.
okay? So basically when we're talking about whole numbers, we're only talking about positive numbers. When we're talking about integers, we're talking about the positive numbers and the negative numbers, okay? So both of those mixed in there together, all right? Okay, so then we need, you got that?
Yep. Yeah, we all have it.
You all have it, all right.
Not everybody.
All right, so let's, so we're talking golf here. So I don't know if we have any golf fans in the room, but usually when you play golf, if you can get a score on a hole that's better than par, and if that happens, then you get a negative number for your score. So for these golfers, Fred went out and played golf and shot a 5 under, or a -5. Trevor shot a 3 over, or a +3. Monique came in with a 4 over, or 4. And Julie was 2 under, which we call -2. Okay? So what we want to do is compare. Let's start by comparing Trevor's and Julie's score. So if I write down Trevor's score, since Julie had a negative score, bigger than or less than Trevor's?
Bigger.
Yes. Bigger, but the negative is smaller. Yes, it's going to be.
You said it.
Oh, okay, so the 3 is bigger than the -2, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right, sorry. So we would say that 3 is greater than -2. So that +3 is bigger than that -2, okay? And you can get even crazier than that. How do Trevor and Fred's scores compare? How do Trevor and Fred's scores compare, Carla?
Fred's is bigger.
Because he had 5 and Trevor had 3. Okay, but what kind of a 5 did Fred have?
Oh,
A -5, yeah. Okay, okay, so that means that even though 3 is normally smaller than 5, since in this case the 5 is negative, it works out that the 3 is bigger than a -5. Does that make sense? So, okay, that's fine. So a positive number is going to come out to be bigger than a negative number. So if we wanted to compare all of them at the same time, we could put them all on a number line. And what you should understand about a number line, just a second, is that the numbers that are on to the left are smaller than the numbers that are to the right. Yes?
Did you want to write it down where you just had?
If you know it already, you don't have to write it down. But if it's something that you might want to look back on so that you can remember it, then you should write that down. So if I put these in order, Fred had a -5, so he's way over here. Trevor had a 3, so he's there. Monique had a 4, so he's there. And Julie had a -2, so she's there. Okay? So who had the lowest score out of all 4 of them? Fred. Okay? And that's why his is the farthest score to the left. Okay? Who had the highest score out of all of them? Monique. And that's why her score is all the way over here to the right. Okay? So the ones that are to the left are smaller than the ones that are to the right. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. All right, so let's take this and do the same thing with a different set of numbers. Sorry.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, so let's take and do the same thing to a different set of numbers.
We write this, right?
Yes, please. Yeah, this is an example. So you could write that down. So we're going to just real simple take the numbers. So same idea, 7, -4, and 3. And we're going to order those from the smallest to the biggest. All right? So raise your hand, please, if you can tell me which one of those is the smallest of the 3 numbers. Austin.
-4.
Okay, good. -4 is the smallest. Which number comes after that, Kira? 3. And then obviously after that, is it Alyssa? Okay, there's only one left, so that is 7. Okay? So again, the negative number is your smallest number, and then the rest of them you can order the way that you're used to, that you already know how to do. Okay? All right. How about this? Okay, let's do a little bit with additive inverses because that brings into play negative numbers as well. So I'm going to give you a number and you tell me the additive inverse, which means what number could I add on to that and get 0 as an answer. And this should be escape. So if I tell you 8, the additive inverse is? -8. So that's basically just its opposite, right? And then if I tell you -15, the additive inverse of that is +15. Very good. And then slightly tricky, but not much. What if I told you 0?
0.
Good, 0, because 0 plus 0 is still 0. So 0 is its own, yep. 0 is its own additive inverse. All right, last thing.
What did I do? I don't appreciate you making that. What did I do? What did I do?
Okay, last idea in this section is absolute value. And absolute value is just an easy way of asking how far is that number from 0 on a number line, okay? And the way that you write that in math is with these 2 bars like that. So what is the absolute value of 4? In other words, how far is 4 from 0? Yeah, 4, okay? And then the fun part is, what is the absolute value of -4? And also 4, okay? Because when you change it to where you're talking about distances, do you ever have a negative distance? No, you talk about maybe east or west or north or south, but a distance is always a positive number. So absolute value answers will always be positive because really what they're asking you about is what is the distance that that number is from 0. Okay? And then once you understand that, you can do some math with absolute value. So for this one here, you need to sort of think of the absolute value symbols as being parentheses. And you need to do what's inside the parentheses, or in this case, inside the absolute value symbols first. So the first thing I need to do in order to solve this problem is figure out what is the absolute value of -9. How far is -9 from 0? 9. Okay, good. What is the absolute value of 7? 7. Okay, because 7 is 7 away from 0. So now that we have gotten rid of the absolute value symbols, we can do it just as a simple math problem. What's 9 plus 7? 16. Okay? Now that's a little bit different than if they were both inside of the absolute value symbols to start with. Okay? If that was the case, we'd have to do what's inside the absolute value first, and then take the absolute value of our answer. So what's -7 plus, -9 plus 7? -2. Okay, good. So I would do what's inside of the absolute value symbols first and get -2. Now what is the absolute value of -2? 2. Okay? So do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
For this one here, we figured out the individual absolute values first, and then we added the answers together. For this one, since they were both inside the absolute value, the same absolute value symbol, we did this thing first, and then took the absolute value of our answer. Does that make sense? Yeah. If I had some, I'd be on. Nobody in the school has air conditioning. No. What's that? For the heat.
Is the heat on?
You should put the
No,
heat
of
on.
course not.
Yeah, but Mr. Punk has air conditioning. He blows cold air out of.
Yep.
Miss Clark does too.
Oh, well, I guess I'm just a loser then.
She got a fan.
You guys just make me feel bad about myself now. All right, so everybody's clear on that?
No, Mr. Aldrich, you people don't need air conditioning.
Because we're already cool, right? I'm cool, so I don't need it, right?
That's what I said, right?
Okay, yep, I'm with you.
Mr. Aldrich, you give us credit for taking
Hold on a second.
Oh my God.